All right, and welcome back to another episode. And today is going to be a continuation from our last video where we talked about stress eating, really eating disorders. And if you missed that video, missed that the audio, I suggest you go back and re-listen to it. But we did talk about how these disorders, or whether it's a full-on disorder, or whether you're just having a stronger desire to start eating more because of one reason or another, that it boils down to your mental state. How the if you are chronically stressed or you're having a very stressful time in your life, how those stress hormones can mess with the other hormones like leptin and the other hormones that affect your appetite and your desire to eat or your desire to not eat. But today we did want to go into more tips on how to, I guess, overcome that, or what to do if you find yourself in that state, in that condition. And so, Dad, what tips do you have today for those people who are dealing with those issues?
Well, first is as a recap. These conditions that are reactive. So the nervous system actually does record the information that we repeat, whether by behavior, by thoughts. So then it becomes a adaptive reaction. So literally, the nervous system learn, and then we do it instantaneously. So we see food and we think it's bad, or we see food and we think we need it. So those are the response. So they all include emotions. So we need to understand that there are emotions involved with this. Whether you acknowledge and are aware or you're not aware, there are thoughts. You may not be aware. Is because those thoughts you already have encrypted into this nervous system. So the information is through circuitries and maps. You're in front of something, whether it's your mom. Let's say if your mom insists that you should eat, okay, then there is some mapping and circuitry and certain type of bonding that is perhaps not healthy. And you are producing resistance through your thoughts. And so you create this reactive response. You see your mom, and immediately you might be hungry because this is the type of relationship where there is some kind of level of toxicity in the environment that activate stress mechanisms. So, or maybe you see somebody that's perhaps a little bit overweight, or maybe you see a picture of yourself, or maybe you picture in your mind overweight. It does create that response that's automatic, because you already have embedded this information. So it's just a matter of having a thought, and immediately there is a response. I think I don't need to eat, and if I eat, I'm going to be fat, and I'm going to be unhealthy. So that is an issue here. So since we talk about emotions, and there's engagement between this physiological response and biology that has to do with the emotions, which is a response from the body, we have to recognize that there are three aspects on emotions. Number one, we need to figure out, what is the level of energy that I have at that moment. Because as we see these stress mechanisms and all these conditions, mental conditions, they are related to chemicals like hormones, neurotransmitters. Okay, so every emotion is related to that, whether it's a pleasant emotion or unpleasant emotions. Okay, those are not necessarily bad, and we just need to know it, understand. So I will ask myself, what is the level of energy I have at this moment? And let's say my level of energy is high, okay, and maybe that means that my level of arousal is high. So then, am I have a lot of energy? I'm an alert, which is high emotion, high energy, or I'm still calming. I'm really calm. Like I'm about to sleep, or maybe I'm just reflecting, it's calming. So it has to do with adrenaline and some other chemicals. So the level of emotion, the level of energy is high, so then I have enough adrenaline in my system, okay? Or it's low, it is less adrenaline. Those are not bad or good. because I could have a high level of energy, okay, and not feeling good. I can have a low level of energy and feeling bad. So we just need to understand. So energy, so trying to understand where you are there. Am I with a lot of energy or with I feel like calm? Okay. So once when I respond to that, the next thing is to understand how I'm feeling. Okay. I'm feeling good or I don't feel good. Okay, let's say my level of energy is, let's say, is high, and I don't feel good. Or could it be that my level of energy is high and I feel good? So we have to really understand this, because this is very important to understand what is really going on and how we're going to go about to do certain exercise and do some techniques. So after that, I need to really understand what my focus is. My focus is on the internal. Internal means could it be physiological? I have an inflammation, colitis, sense of inflammation. I have a pain on my legs. I have a pain in my neck. Or it could be cognitive. See, I'm focusing on thinking, on that I'm not worth it, on feeling shame on myself. I'm focusing on, the fact that I think I will never change. So this is the internal part. Okay. So all these thoughts, what am I focused? Am I there now? Or am I focusing on the external? Okay. I'm focusing on looking at my father, who I think is to blame for everything that's happening to me. Or looking at my son, who I think is responsible for the way how I feel. So this is an ineffective way to deal with this. Could affect, the condition that we're in. So, anyways, let's repeat this so we understand. Trying to understand your level of energy at this moment. I could be calm, and I can be depressed and with anxiety while I'm calm, or I could be calm and I can feel good. Okay, so not necessarily any of these represent anything bad, because adrenaline is just a chemical. I can be with energy because I'm projecting a future events and goals that I'm setting. Okay, so that's good. Okay, but I could have high level energy and I can be projected, let's say, some goals, but maybe I'm driven by perhaps arrogance or envy, jealousy. So now the whole dynamic changes in this hormonal inactivity, and now it's going to be a pump of a number of biological chemicals dumped into the body that's going to produce incoherence. No, I'm projecting the future, but I feel bad because I'm probably breaking the ethics. I'm trying to get what I want. Doesn't matter who am I harming or hurting. So that's got to comprehend that. Okay. So now when I see that, okay, the next thing is trying to understand, what's my intention. Okay. What intention I have. So let's say my intention, after I'm aware that something is not really making me happy and it's making me feel miserable. It's affecting. I don't feel really. I feel some kind of high level of pain. So the next thing that I need to do is be sure that I try to understand what my intentions are. So normally we humans, sometimes we have to go to the bottom, no? At the barrel to start kind of reasoning and reflecting, because high level of pain produce the tendency for us to kind of trying to look for more than what we were looking for, to trying to solve the problems and reach our goals. So now we probably comprehend that it's more than what I see, it's more than what other people can give me, it's more than the caffeine that I'm drinking with coffee, it's more than, whatever other addiction I might be used to trying to, tame the pain and reduce the. So I get to the level of conscience. I say, okay, this is not good. I need to change. Okay, and at that point, I need to look at my intentions. So my intentions are to change, and I want to improve. So they got to be that. We got to get to the point. No, and this cannot be manipulated for anybody. This has to be our own. Okay, of course, we receive the support of family. We have wonderful people that surround us. Friends. There's God that's always trying to help us. There is everything else that we have in front of us. Okay? But of course, when there is opacity, there is lack of clarity, lack of discernment. It's hard to see all the resources that are out there. So, but anyways, that's why, because, sometimes I got to fall into the bottom. Sometimes, but we don't have to get there. Okay. But if that's the case, it's okay. We can, from that point, we can kind of take over our life. And that taking over our life, it has there's a little bit of pain. No? But that pain could be transient. That means that it's going to be temporary. If I know how to go from that condition to a point where I can have actions that can help me to remove myself from the space, from the position of suffering, from the position of opacity, from the place of lack of discernment, okay, from all these tendencies, okay, all these habitual behaviors. So I'm there now. Let's say I'm there. No. Mm-hmm. And this is we're talking about eating disorder. This applies to many, many different other habitual behaviors that we have. So I have to set the intention right. What do I want? So I need to decide, what do I want? Do I really want to stay on this highway? Okay. This is reflecting questions. We don't have to really think, analyze, just ask, do I really want to stay here? Okay. And then the next thing is consider, I've been on this place for a long time, trying to utilize all these different escapes, and I've been running, I've been adapting myself through maladaptive behavior. Do I want this? Okay. Is it this going to get me into a better place? And of course, the answer will be always no. This place is not the place you want. So just follow that. So what I want to do. So I have to really think about it. And of course, it's easy. I'm down here in the dark place where I feel suffering, pain, and it's uncomfortable. I feel lonely. I don't want to be there. No. So, okay, what I want. And I want to improve and correct these issues that are affecting my health, affecting my family, affecting everything that's around. So my intention has to be direct to that purpose. And then once that is there, the next thing is be sure that you are aware, okay, are aware of your thoughts. Aware means not that you have to be fighting your thoughts or thinking horrible about yourself, even if you have put yourself in that position of training your mind, into dark places. So that means that you're aware that there's something there, okay, and exists. It's memories. It's not you. It's just memories. So aware of that, and be aware. And this is the key. Yeah, we are aware of the possibility, just the possibility that I could change this situation. You don't have to really go with a full faith with that. Just a possibility. This is what is called hope. Okay? We all can experience that. Just ask the question, is it possible that I could change? And then, or what if it's possible that I could lose weight, or I can repair these damages that have been created by my mental state, or my physical state, or by both? Okay. So now just ask that question. And you have to be sincere, and it has to be without any confirmation analysis and reasoning. You don't need to do that. Hope doesn't require any of that stuff. Okay. It's a sensation that's unseen. You don't have to explain it. We all feel it. Okay. If you open the door, just like when you're looking at the stars, no? In a beautiful night, you reflect yourself and ask, what is it beyond those stars? It's just a question. It opens the door for reverence, okay? Opens the door for many beautiful experiences that you can actually have as you're in contact with nature. So in this case, this is internal. You have to do this internally. And then with that, here's some exercises you can do, because there are emotions. It's hard. When there is strong emotions, you can be swift by this physical, biological condition, these unpleasant emotions, which they're not necessarily bad, because it's okay, for us to feel, anger here and there. Well, the problem is if that's the dominion at your life, is that emotion is dominant and is taking over your life. That is the problem. And then you need to really comprehend, that this is what is important to work with. So to remove this, or trying to make sense of life and understanding, have clarity under those conditions is difficult. So we're going to use our body as an exercise, because the first thing you have to do is be sure that you bring yourself, to the physiological point where the level of stress hormones are lower. That will give chance for you to have enough flow of nutrients and oxygen on the brain and many organs that are critical for repair. So, and your entire nervous system. So the technique of breathing is important. Okay. Now, we are different in the way how we get to the place we get. Sometimes it's a lot of darkness in our mind. We feel lonely, desperate. No? We feel shame, and we feel like nobody understands. We're lonely. If you're in that place, so I recommend you to probably go to the woods. If there is a place where there's a lot of trees, go there. Where there's not a lot of noise. Just walk through the trees, listen to the birds, see the little animals. Walk through. Spend about 15 minutes if you have anything close to your house. Okay, and do that every day. Okay, maybe 20, maybe half an hour. Okay. Of course, this is just something temporary, but it will help you. Now, if your mind is one of those minds that never stops, it's like a chicken with no head, always thinking what you're doing here, and there, what is going to happen when my wife say this, and I'm going to tell him this, and if she say that, it's going to happen this, and okay, my mom, and then your kid, I don't have any money, and then your mind is always ruminating. So if that's where you are, you go to a place where you can see the vast view of the horizon. Maybe if there is a little hill close to you, just walk into the hill or drive into the hill. If there's an ocean, go to the ocean. If it's a lake, go there. Okay. And you're going to actually see, a bigger view of the horizon. That helps. No. Now, not everybody can do that at any given moment. So here's some of the tips. If you have a high level energy, because I already talked about that, okay, and you don't feel good, because you can have a high level energy and not feel good. That means you're under stress, and that happens with these emotions. Or you have a low level energy and don't feel good, that means stress. It's just a different complex mechanisms. They are regulated by our thoughts. Okay, the way how we're thinking, and it's bad. Either one is bad. No. High level stress, don't feel good, you're gonna probably start making mistakes, okay, and acting and reacting and so forth and so on. And don't feel good and low level energy, the same thing. You're gonna damage your body also, and you're gonna act and react in a ways that you shouldn't. That's gonna affect your mind and your body. So going back, if it's a low level energy, then I recommend you that you go and get some cold water. You can use probably a small little towel. Okay, open the faucet all the way. Get the water to very cold. You don't have any cold water in your area, then probably get some ice water. So very cold. Put the towel, squish it so you don't have water in it, and put it in your face. So leave it there for 20 seconds. Very cold, but right to cover the whole face. And then after that, dump it again into the cold water, squeeze it, and now put it in your neck. So this is going to help to produce a little bit of adrenaline and epinephrine in your body. Because, these sensors that we have on our face and in this area will send signals to the brain, to kind of do some interesting things that activate mechanisms, and you're going to have a little bit more adrenaline. And that's good, because if you feel very low energy, you need a little energy. The interesting thing is that this is not going to put a lot of adrenaline. It's just going to put enough so you get out of that dump and kind of look up from a different state of mind. Then if you have a lot of energy and you feel bad, okay, you're running like a chicken, no, your mind is like everywhere. Now get warm water, very warm water, okay, dump the towel into warm water, squeeze it so you don't wet your face, and then put it in nice warm water in your face, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, then after that, do the same again and put it right in your neck. Now this time, when you have a lot of energy and you feel bad, that means there's a lot of adrenaline, and you don't want that adrenaline in your body. That's gonna block the ability to think properly, to see with clarity. In either way, in both cases, these conditions, it will affect you the way how you do things. You see things. And what happened is, the problem is you're going to be managed by the memories of your mind. Your mind has information. You already been thinking about these things, and now it runs in automatic. And you are just thinking all over the place. Oh, I got to tell my wife this, and I'm going to fight this person, and I need to protect against this other person, and why this happened, and so forth and so on. You kind of run, big problem. Or perhaps, as I say, you are not feeling good, low energy, because you are thinking, oh, for me, I feel bad, I feel sad. I keep building these thoughts and keep adding it. So the level of adrenaline goes down, okay, which is not good either, unless you're going to sleep, okay, or unless you are reflecting, or unless, there's something good, you are kind of thinking on the examination you're going to do, or you're trying to direct the levels of energy to the right part of the brain to help you, to retry the memory that you want to pass examination. And then once when that happens again, adrenaline goes up, and then there's connections, and you know what to do. Okay, so that's a kind of technique you can do. And the next thing is breathing. So, breathing is important. When you are breathing, the thoracic section goes up, your heart enlarge a little bit. That it produces signals to the brain, and then now breathing when you inhale. When you inhaling, that happens. When you're exhaling, it's the other way around. So if you feel a lot of energy and feel bad, then you're gonna do short inhales and a little longer exhales. So I will go like, that is if you feel like with a lot of energy, and feel bad, I'm upset with my father. How come he could do that? And I'm gonna give him a lesson, and whatever it is. And then, my wife, why she allowed my father to come in? And then you are kicking in your mind, poor dog that's in the way. So in that position, shorter inhales, lower exhales. With a lot of energy, feel bad. If you have very little energy and feel bad, you need to do the reverse. Okay, you inhale longer, exhale short. In that way, now I have more adrenaline. Okay. So for energy, because I'm low, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I have anxiety. So these are techniques that you can do. Repeat it 10 times every time you do it. And we'll continue with this in another session because I know we've been taking a lot of time to explain this physiology and trying to understand behavior and emotions and how to overcome these difficult times when we are engaged in any kind of behavior, not only eating disorder, anything that will affect relationships, health, the way we sleep, and put us into addictions. It is detrimental and it's painful. So we'll continue with this, and we have more tips in the future.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dad. And really, as you were pointing out, a lot of this has to do with bringing yourself back into a really a more normal state, a more calm state, a more basically bring yourself back. I guess I don't know if this is the appropriate way to use this, but almost like bring yourself into a zen, into like a more level, I guess, a level mental state. Because as you pointed out, when these things oftentimes they're habitual, and they can be brought upon, because of these maybe stressful associations you might have with, like as you said, your mother or with a scenario. And so it's important to use these techniques to bring yourself into a clear mental state, so that then you can then see more clearly and make the decisions that you need to make in order to to be healthy, in order to make those better choices for your health and for your life.
See, the idea is to go back to normal. And normal is not necessarily calm. You can't be calm all the time. That's gonna kill you, because your immune system needs the stimulus that the world produces through challenges, to situations. Okay, you can also be in alert and a lot of energy all the time. That can destroy your body too. It's going to affect your cardiovascular system, and it can affect so many other mechanisms internally. So this is where you actually daily you are going through alert and calm during the day. Things happen. You can lose the power. Alert. Okay, you bring it back to normal, calm, because you already figure out how to fix it or do what you need to do. Then you go back to alert because the guy didn't came on time to fix the internet. Okay, then you make the phone call, calm. You see, every time you deal with this in the appropriate manner, then you always are going to be in this state where you actually are in homeostasis. So, but when we're going through alert and stay there for a long period of time, then it's problems. Problem for our mental health, our physical health. Or if we go to calm for a long time. And remember, when I'm saying calm, I'm not saying relax. I'm saying calm in the sense that we are entertaining thoughts that are making us sad or freeze us, or thoughts that are making us not to say what we need to say when we need to say it in the way we need to say it. So we do not say no, okay? Because also we can be in a state of calm by fears. Okay, I'm afraid to say something to my son because maybe he won't love me. And those are the conditions where if I stay there for a long time, it's going to produce some damage to our body, our mind, and it's a prison that we're going to live in. And it keeps us into emotions that dominate our life. And of course, not a place to be. And this is why we're doing this, trying to educate the communities and help people to understand this.
Okay. Awesome. Well, with that, we'll wrap up. And again, if there's anything else you want us to discuss, let us know, and we will go ahead and address those topics.